Something that I've started thinking about is how the golden buzzer phenomenon has lent in to our primal instincts of feeling belonging. And I see these clips when they get a golden buzzer. We see this moment of validation. They've been dreaming of going on the X Factor or going on Britain's Got Talent for years and years and years. And suddenly this moment of validation, it feels like this moment that I was hoping for, that I would feel validated by other people to say that I am good enough at singing, rather than it being, I have this thing I want to share, and no matter what happens, I will be sharing it because that's what's important to me. I must lead to this moment of being validated, being told that I'm enough. And I certainly remember that myself. Every time I stepped out for a curtain call at the end of a show, I would feel a sort of a crippling anxiety to see whether I'd been validated, whether I'd been considered to be loved in that situation. Whereas the reality is, what we'd created as a company as a whole was what we cared about. But then suddenly having this individual curtain call made me think, am I enough? Do they like me? Do they love me? Not chasing the X Factor golden buzzer, but that golden buzzer moment lives in every part of a performer's work. Even if what we really want that moment of curtain call to be a mutual thanks from us to the audience and the audience to us for sharing, we subconsciously make it a moment of testing whether we've been accepted. It leans it into our primal nature that to feel accepted by the group was not just a nice to have, it was a complete necessity. If you were rejected by the group, you wouldn't survive. You would not have the protection of the group, and therefore you would get picked off. So to be accepted by the group was life or death. And this moment of validation that we're seeking from the phrase they use is that it's a yes from me. I heard this recently about someone's performance, and someone said it's a yes from me, and it reminded me of this culture that we're leaning into, because it gets to our primal level. So we're not conscious that we're searching for this validation all the time through our singing. And the reality is that you can then, after this big moment of validation, you can get spat out by the industry. This actually leads us to feeling less accepted than we ever had done before. We can get the golden buzzer moment, and then the career doesn't actually happen. So in that seeking validation, we have that fantastic moment, and then it's over. Then we're like, oh, do I have to find that same thing again? Is that what my job is now? To constantly seek validation for myself? For one thing, that is an exhausting way to live our lives. Not something that I would wish upon anybody, but something that I know that I fell into the trap of. And you can never fulfill that enough, because that one moment, even if you do perceive yourself to have been loved, to have been liked, it's over before you know it. And then you have to fulfill it again with the next moment where you perceive to have been lovable enough, to have been liked enough, to be enough. Now, a big moment where this shifted for me was in changing what I saw as success in a performance. Instead of seeing my success in any given performance as being how beautifully I've sung, or how big a response I got from the audience for a particular song, and if it wasn't exactly what I was hoping it would be, it wasn't good enough, or I am not enough, anything like that, to how much can I share with this audience? How much can I connect with them during the performance? How much can I live with them through this story and share it with them, connect together, and therefore all of us can grow together. So me through the giving and exploring of this character, and the audience in experiencing this story and questioning their lives, letting them think about things in different ways. so that they can better understand themselves, so that we can all, through connecting with each other, through sharing, through giving to each other, grow as human beings together. Because the opposite version of that doesn't lead to constant growth as a human or as an artist. It leads to constant questioning and a loop of trying to fulfill our need to feel personal significance, which we all need. We all need to feel that feeling of feeling worthwhile. We all need to feel safe. But if it's the thing that drives everything, you're in a loop of chasing feeling significant back into the uncomfortable uncertainty of whether you can find it. However, if we give ourselves the certainty of finding that feeling through knowing that whatever happens, I'm going to share fully and unselfishly and passionately, then there's no way that we can fail. Now, this doesn't mean that we ignore the things that make us better as performers, as singers. We keep on working on our technique, but it's not so that we can sound the way we think people want us to sound. It's so that we can tell the story with more passion, with more detail, with more intricacy, more skill, so that people can receive that gift that we give out into the world more readily, I guess.